No, give me a proper reset. We'll even start the game over. I already just tested it earlier. Here we go. You saw this in the stores on a demo unit. You saw what it looked like and what it sounded like. You heard what sounded like more like real instruments because it was wavetable MIDI instead of FM synthesis. And then you had to tell your parents, hey, let's get that, even though it's $150. Why? Don't you already have Nintendo? Well, it's 16-bit. What does that mean? Eventually, we found out that it meant how many colors per sprite. Oh boy, what are we up to now? Million-something bit by that same thing. Hey, let's see the opening to the game again. So when I had this 100%, I had 96 in Mario A, so the autumn mode, and 95 in Mario B. So I go anywhere in the world, spring or fall. We're starting from scratch. Fortunately, the classic controller is very Super Nintendo-y, and it works really well for Super Nintendo. I can almost forgive that it's not a Super Nintendo controller. Although, again, I do think that the NES and SNES classic controllers would be the best for something like this. I'm not home, but I everybody Bowser Yoshi. So when I first came to this one, I was like, let's go to Yoshi's Island 1, right? That's 1, even though it's not going towards the castle. I started the game up. Now, similar to when I first came to Nintendo from Atari and I ran into that first Goomba, coming to Super Nintendo from NES and having 4 buttons instead of 2, needless to say, I played this game like an NES game until I saw in the manual we were supposed to put your thumb over 2 of the buttons and then do the knuckle for the bottom button and the tip for the top button. But when I first played this game, I was doing this. Yeah, that's right. I spin jumped on everything because A was usually the jump button. Like, what are you playing that game for? What are you playing it that way for? The other button will do a regular jump. Oh, really? Oh, okay. But yeah, first came in here, never played Super Nintendo before. This is how I handled it. I just spin jumped on everything. It might have been a bit more interesting if Nintendo had flipped them around so that regular jump was A and spin jump was B. But eventually you got over it, you learned how to handle the controller correctly, and you started using you started using the buttons the way they were made to be used. And this design actually is the one that is the distant ancestor of what we have today on PlayStation and Xbox controllers. Kind of interesting how a dumb detail like 4 buttons and some way of controlling the directions of your character could turn into decades of gaming controllers. Heck, even Sega with the Genesis didn't have something like this. This also, you talk about Nintendo making weaker consoles. When you consider what the SNES had versus the Genesis, Super Nintendo was the one and only time that Nintendo actually had the best hardware versus their closest competitor. Later on, of course, the Neo Geo came out and it was 24-bit, but in terms of 16-bit consoles, Super Nintendo represents the last time Nintendo had the strongest hardware unit. Although blast processing helped for some things on the Sega side, it also didn't help that there was a bit more family-friendly and therefore some censorship stuff on the Nintendo side. Mortal Kombat with sweat instead of blood. Whatever. Quite alright. I don't have a problem with going to the Switch Palaces. The fun part here is it's a big, huge Mario game, and you can save your progress and come back later. So, I think it was actually Super Mario World that was the first game I ever 100% complete out of the entire series. And I mean, beat Bowser and get everything else. So, I used to always use the warp whistles in Mario 3 because I didn't want to be sitting in front of a... As fun as it was, I didn't want to be sitting in front of a Mario game for hours and hours and hours. No. So, for the long-form content, when this goes to YouTube, I think I'm going to do highlights of each individual game. Not necessarily you know, do a long-form version of the... Well, I could do the long-form version of the whole stream, and then follow it up with some highlights for each individual game. I'm just going to change the name of it when it goes to YouTube. YouTube is the more reliable VOD site, so... I do want to get back to regular YouTube content, though. Probably this week. I gotta get the house in order before I get too tired because work starts back up. Hi, you found me! When I first found Yoshi, I was like, what? Oh, that's the dinosaur I saw in the commercials. Actually... My stepmother was obsessed with me not playing violent games. So... There was a time when I said, oh, this game has a character named Yoshi. Maybe it's a ninja. Oh, yeah, well, she was something else. She flipped out about the helicopter level in Pilot Wings when she found out the helicopter could shoot. Big argument with my dad over whether I should even keep Pilot Wings. Yeah. It's fun using this controller, but I would rather use a SNES controller. At some point, I gotta get a, I'll probably get a NES Classic and a SNES Classic at some point. Even if I buy a retro console just for the controller. Actually, I think there's wireless versions available for the Switch nowadays. Whoops! No. Back to the game, please. Close B. Okay. Because of the way the end of the end of the stage themes. Now, I used to dance to that theme as well. Okay. Another thing I used to do when I was playing this over a sitter's house, and I would crank the contrast on the TV all the way up so it'd be all colorful like it was in Nintendo Power and stuff, and then she'd go to watch TV and it would be the color would be way too high and she'd turn it back down. She got mad at me for that. Create restore point. I keep forgetting this thing has save states. Oh, wait. There's no manual for this. View original manual? I thought it was in here. Yeah, there it is. All the cute value-added stuff here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait hold on. Old school. Oh, this isn't a photocopy. See, Super Mario 64 actually has... Yeah, Super Mario 64 has a photocopy, or photo scan of the original menu. Well, this is cute. Yeah, the menu for this actually had enemies and stuff. That's where I found out about some of the bizarre names like Dino, Rhino, Mini Dino, and Blarg, and the rest of them. Yeah. Oh, this feels better, actually, leaning back. Yeah, I didn't sit at attention. I didn't sit at attention when gaming, either. Just lean back on the couch and just... Oh, yeah. Actually, I do have a couch. This TV's a little small, though, for me to be playing from way over there, though. Maybe if I had a 55-inch or something. Oh, man. That's some indigestion there, Yoshi. Oh yeah, this feels a lot better. Oh, that was a good one. Never even did that back in the day. Of course, the formula for a Mario game was so refined by the time this came out. That's why there's probably people out there that still consider this the best Mario game of all time. And the new Super Mario Bros. Series that took everything back to 2D from 3D has been trying to catch up with it. Ah, yeah. Sweet! Oh yeah, this feels much better. Even though it makes me look like a lazy fat ass in the camera. And that's what you get when you don't pay attention when you're going through the... I could rotate the microphone, actually. Yeah! Because I didn't hunch forward all the time here. Flying fish! Oh wait, just jumping fish. Ooh, lag! CPU issues on the Super Nintendo. Foreshadowing. Well, not lag per se, but dropped frames. Actually, I think to be tenacious, well, that didn't work. I used to spin jump all the time in case I landed on one of those things. But if, yeah. Just do this. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you can bounce off of those things. I think that's really the thing. I mean, as much as I have some NES background, once I saw how nice this game looked and stuff, I was like, this is way better than NES. Even way better than Mario 3. I want this game. This could be the playthrough that I can actually do. And I'm not that rusty at compared to Mario 64. That's because the controller is very similar. Not quite what it could be if I had a SNES Classic, and I was just hooking the controller up to the Wiimote. That's the interesting thing. The Wii U is in a rather interesting situation as the rough draft of the Nintendo Switch. It's still a decent console if you load it up with virtual console games and stuff. Many of its biggest titles now are available for direct download, so you don't have to hunt down CDs anymore. You could certainly find them if you really wanted. Just put in some external storage to have some decent capacity. But it's a 1080p Nintendo console, and that's part of what I think the issue is with the Wii versus the Switch. Oh, that was cool. Yeah, that used... I never told my stepmother that what Mario's doing here is punching. Mario's too violent! Whatever. He was throwing hammers in Super Mario Bros. 3. Ugh. So she was always about the rules. The rules! The rules! Follow the rules! And I was like, tell me the rules. List them off. You know the rules. Follow the rules. Oh, man. Getting a little too distracted now. It is a little different, though, because I didn't have a stereo TV growing up, so hearing this in stereo is not something that I'm accustomed to. You know how many people I've seen play this game that can't figure out that you have to have Iggy slide in the same direction? They just jump on him several different times. How many times do you have to jump on this guy? Lovely. You know what? Let's go PlayStation mode. No, I don't think this is going to work as well. Swap controllers. Right in time for World 2-1, where we get the Cape Feather for the first time. Actually, let's do a replay of that just to test it out. Alright, we switched to the other classic controller. I do think I'd rather use a Super Nintendo style one, though. This just doesn't feel right. Nice and comfortable, but it's not authentic. And just for fun, let's just go back in there and play that stage again. L-R. Well, not that R. B. Buttons. Bumper buttons. Ergonomic as hell. Or ergonomic as heck, but, feels a little off. Oh, this is just... It feels like there's things jutting out of a Super Nintendo controller. Yeah. You can't go... Sometimes they say you can't go back, but sometimes you can't go forward either. So much highlightable content. The way it's meant to be. Wait a minute. What? The controller's unpaired. How'd that happen? There we go. It lost its signal. Because back in the day, we only need our thumbs and forefingers to play video games. Whatever, Charge and Chuck. See ya! I used to pretend that Mario's cape was a melee weapon. But probably one of the things we liked the most about this game was the ability to indefinitely fly. No other Mario game has had this since, because all you had to do was get down how everything worked once the cape opened up. And bada bing. Alright, let's actually go back down and play some of the level. Or not. Is he going for the donut ghost house again? Nah. I just prefer... Let's do a water level. Is he going for warp zones again? I used to think up obscene lyrics to this. We kind of ruined it now. Alright, well, let's just skip the whole inflatable Mario thing. The balloon power-up. I used to think up, like, juvenile obscene lyrics to this. Dave is a stupid jerk. Dave's a lonely asshole. Yeah, it was the 90s. The era of bad attitudes, grunge crap, and other stuff. Wow! I forgot that effect is in stereo. Probably because I never... Yeah, well, again. Donut Secret House. He's going for Star World! He's gonna warp to World 8 again! Perhaps. Donut Secret House. Donut Get Your Ass Kicked House. Bada bing. The reason why you always spin jumped off of that spring. Okay, there's the exit. Not totally painfully obvious. Nice save point. As we move on to another stop in the Nostalgia Tour, also from the Super Nintendo catalog, and also recently downloaded.